1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon, hoping you will tune into our show.
That has to do with something in his brain. They said it turned out to be nothing malignant, but there was something anyway.
Yeah.
And he sort of thought the same thing. I sort of made him think differently, you know. Now that doesn't condone what is done. That doesn't condone what is done, but it sort of gives us an insight into why he must have done it, or why.
Yeah.
Luckily, she escaped unscathed. Well, I say unscathed. I say physically unscathed. I mean, she's not blind or you know, needing disabled or something, because some people do get into that. But I recognize the emotional damage that it must have caused her, and that just brings me back to this. So, looking at the guy, what would I do? How would I, if I was the judge, how would I sentence him? I would order an examination of.
Yeah, you'd have more reports.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would have a. Yeah. Obviously, I would keep him. I would recommend that he be kept in a secure unit whilst this. But then this thing happened in 1966.
Yeah.
So back then, there's probably not enough information about, you know, mental health, because we only started talking about mental health probably a decade ago. We started talking about mental health as a problem. We never used to talk about, in this country, we never used to talk about mental health that much. We mention it, but we never actually considered it when we thought about people's actions or what they did, or what must have caused what they did. But that still doesn't condone what you know, harming anybody else for that matter. But you know, we started talking about people getting help, or you know, if you do feel like, you know, you're experiencing a mental health episode, not an episode, but if you do feel like, you know, you need to talk about what you're going through, talk to somebody, talk, you know. So yeah, 1966, too early. I
mean, as you say, I think obviously the mental health thing is now, it's almost overused, isn't it, as a reason for people not doing things or whatever, and it possibly is overused. But I think it's become much more prevalent, and we're aware of it in the same way that genetics, you know, DNA, since they cracked the DNA genome and so on, I think scientists and doctors have been able to pinpoint certain things in terms of human behavior. The interesting thing is, we talk about crime and criminals, but we're not all given the same starting point. We're not all given a level playing field. Really, that all starts at the point of conception. And an interesting thing is that genetically, there's a set of genes which we're all given at the point of conception, which half of the human population have this set of genes, half don't. So that means the half that do are potentially more dangerous, because this set of genes means those who have it are 8 times more likely to commit violent crime in their life. Now, that doesn't mean to say they will, but they're 8 times more likely. Now, as I say, half the human population have this gene. 98% of people in prison have this gene. Now, what this gene is called is the Y chromosome. So we can call this gene males. And it's a startling fact in many ways that half the human population are 8 times more likely to commit violent crime. In other words, males are than women, and 98% of the prison populations around the world are men. Now, we may say, well, that's just the way it is. I suppose it's to do with our human beginnings, hunter and hunted, etc. But it's an interesting thought.
Yeah. Well, I suppose.
I mean,
Yeah. Sorry.
The leader of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything customers. And fund the aim of everything customers.
Gene males, and it's a startling fact in many ways that half the human population are 8 times more likely to commit violent crime. In other words, males are than women, and 98% of the prison populations around the world are men. Now we may say, well, that's just the way it is. I suppose it's to do with our human beginnings, hunter and hunted, etc. But it's an interesting thought.
Yeah. Well, I suppose.
I mean,
Yeah. Sorry, Dan. Yeah. Well, I suppose we don't really have enough time to finish this topic today. and this is how interesting it is. We don't have enough time to finish it today. So what I'm going to say to our viewers is, join us next week when we get to the bottom of this and really delve into it and be able to really nail it down, because it's very complex. And we don't just want to touch it on the surface and go away like it's a finished topic. So it's not finished. So to all our viewers on YouTube, everywhere, Spotify, Amazon Music, all over the world, join us next week for another interesting for the continuation of this topic. Bruv, do you want to conclude for us, please?
Yes, well, just to follow on from there, we hope you found it enjoyable. Anybody watching or listening to us, we will carry it on next week because there's a minefield of stuff to discuss. But today I am Trevor Gear and he calls me Bruv.
And I'm Emmy Hikins and he calls me Cuz.
and I'm Dan Pindred, and they both call me Fam, not Cuz, like I said at the beginning.
Yeah, I apologize, fam. So sorry for cutting it short. I know we're all gutted, but
It's all right.
next
It's all
week.
right, it's okay.
Yeah, so it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Yeah. Recording.
Of our gang will make the show go with a bang and fund the aim of everything customers. And fund the aim of everything customers.